Council will come to order. It's my duty as the mayor to confirm that Congressman Sylvester Turner, our former mayor, state representative for 24 years, passed away last night. He was working in Washington and was taken to the hospital, and he passed. I've asked flags at City Hall, all city buildings, and encourage flags across Houston to be lowered to half-mast. This comes as a shock to everyone. I would ask Houstonians to come together, pray for his family, join us in celebrating this remarkable public servant, celebrate his life, which we will be doing. You know, not many people know how close Sylvester and I was. I was in the Senate 40 years. He was a state representative in my district for 24. No one's introduced me more in public than Sylvester Turner. No one's introduced him more in public than John Whitmire. We've been together in good times and bad times. He asked me to speak at his mother's funeral. I was there when Ashley was born. He was there when Whitney and Sarah were born. As recently as 2 weeks ago, we were together as friends, as public servants, installing F.M. Williams II in Acres Home a week ago Sunday. We made sure that we were both in the same picture with the family. We had tremendous influence on each other as we were young elected officials. He and I both loved Houston, we loved Texas, and this great country. It is a personal loss for me. And the reason no one knows how close we are is the mean politics of our system. We never took our disagreements personally. Man, I'd run over to the House because he was such a good state representative, and he was always on the conference committee. That's 5 individuals out of the House that write the final version of the state budget, $180 billion. And I was the longest serving senator, but I needed some items in the budget, and I knew where to go, and it was usually accomplished. So I've lost a personal friend, advisor, and we've lost an outstanding public official. Experience matters, folks. No one will be able to step into Sylvester's shoes and carry on his duties because there's only one Sylvester Turner. Growing up in Acres Home in poverty. He was so proud of his family. His mother being a housekeeper at the Rice Hotel. His father a laborer, 2-bedroom apartment, house. So I want to ask council to recess for an hour to give us all an opportunity to reflect. But it just shows how vulnerable life is. And as we work to improve the lives of Houstonians, let's remember that we need to hug people we love and respect, thank them on a regular basis, come together as a community. But Sylvester Turner is a remarkable public servant that has impacted, quite frankly, millions of people. He rose from poverty to meet with presidents, and kings, and queens. But here's what I want everybody to remember. He never forgot where he came from. That's remarkable, often in public service. Boy, he was an orator. You know, he was valedictorian at Klein, then went to Harvard. 24 years in the State House, 8 as mayor, Congress, and he was a public servant right up till he took his last breath. So it's a personal loss for me, it's a loss for the city, and I just hope we'll all come together, realize we have so much more in common than we do with our differences. But I had to consider whether we conduct city business today. In consultation with Sylvester's family and his team, they said, Mayor, he would want you to conduct the city's business today because he cares that much about Houstonians. So I am going to ask council to stand in recess for an hour to allow everyone to gather their thoughts. We'll come back and have a short agenda. We'll be in contact with family and Sylvester's team members to see how they would recommend proceeding. But it's a terrible loss for the city of Houston. It's a personal loss for me. He saw him Saturday at the rodeo parade. We were friends, advisors to one another. He's campaigned hard for me. I'd like to think I was the face of his campaign the first time he ran. Certainly had the honor of introducing him on election night. And he and I always knew where we stood. It was the mean political consultants that tried to divide us, and they weren't successful. I am grieving with everyone today, and I would ask Houstonians to celebrate his life, but let's not forget, because he definitely is a role model for so many young people across this city. Just look where the challenges he had, but I will miss hearing his oratory. In fact, I'm a better speaker because of Sylvester. You just can't understand what it's like to be in an African-American, a black church on Sunday morning with everyone enjoying the service and have to follow Sylvester Turner speaking. He will bring out the best in you in public service. I'm going to ask Reverend Davis, do you want to close before we recess in a moment of prayer and
Yes, Mayor, I'd love to.
then we'll recess.